in this third case, to determine the natural frequency of single degree free undamped vibration analytically and experimentally, the third case is a torsional vibrations. The example is single rotor system. But before that, we will find out how to determine the natural frequency of the torsional vibration. So for that, there is a one shaft. That shaft having the diameter d, and at the end of the shaft, rotor or disc is connected. M is the mass of that rotor. The length of the shaft is L, and Kt is the torsional stiffness of the shaft. Here we are saying it is a torsional stiffness. So this shaft is at initial position A. We hold the disc and twist it. So twisting and untwisting moment of this rotor is nothing but the case of called as a torsional vibration. So from A to A dash, it is get deflected by an amount theta because of the some external acceleration. So inertia torque is acting I theta double dot, and because of the stiffness of the shaft in the opposite direction, the restoring torque is called as K theta. So according to the D'Alembert's principle, so summation of all the external torques or couples equal to 0. So I theta double dot plus Kt theta is equal to 0. Again rearranging the terms, so theta double dot plus Kt upon I theta equal to 0, where this is again called as the square of natural frequency. Therefore, natural frequency omega is given by Kt upon I, that is radian per seconds. So here Kt is a torsional stiffness, I is called as mass moment of inertia of the rotor. So that I is mass moment of inertia of rotor, and that is given in kg meter square. Then we know this torsional stiffness is defined as torque per unit angular deflection. We know the stiffness is force per unit deflection, as it is a case of torsional stiffness. So it is a torque per unit angular deflection T upon theta. We know the equation of torsion, that is P upon J equal to G theta upon L. So rearranging the terms, P upon theta equal to Gj upon L, and that is nothing but what? 3 upon theta is Kt. So we have got Kt is equal to Gj upon L. So substituting in this equation of natural frequency, we will get Gj upon IL, where this G is called as modulus of rigidity of shaft material. It should be in Newton per meter square. J is called as polar moment of inertia of the shaft. That should be in meter raised to 4. I we have seen is mass moment of inertia of the rotor, and L is the length of the shaft in meters. So we will get the natural frequency in radian per second. Similarly, we can calculate the frequency in hertz as 1 upon 2 pi under root of Gj upon IL in hertz. So this is the theoretical natural frequency for the torsional vibration, and we know how to calculate the inertia force. So again, in this case, we have just now seen how to calculate the theoretical natural frequency. So theoretical natural frequency we are going to calculate by this equation, that is just now we have seen. So Gj upon IL. So G is nothing but that we can calculate for the given shaft material. Diameter of the shaft is known. So J we can calculate. J is equal to pi by 32 d raised to 4. D is the diameter of the shaft. I is for the rotor, and L is the length of the shaft. So these are the things which are known to us, and from substituting the values, we are able to find out the theoretical natural frequency. Similarly, as we have seen for the previous cases, here also we will measure experimental frequency on the same fashion. How much time is required for a particular number of oscillations? So we will oscillate the shaft, oscillate the rotor, and we will measure the time required for 10, 15 and 20 oscillations. Now that we will see. Okay. So this is the single rotor system, where this is the shaft, and at the end of the shaft, this is the rotor connected. So this is a single rotor, that's why it is called as a single rotor system. This is the diameter of the shaft that we will measure, length of the shaft, and by knowing the values of all these, we are going to find out the theoretical frequency. So how to calculate the natural frequency? For that again we have to oscillate this disc, and for that we will measure the time required. So how to oscillate it? Just hold on it, rotate it for certain angle and release. So here it is rotating like this. So So this is the one rotation, 1, 2, 3, 4. Likewise, you have to measure the time required for 10 oscillations, 15 oscillations and 20 oscillations, and from that time required you are able to find out the natural frequency experimentally for the single rotor system. So just now we have performed the experiment, and from that experiment we came to know the values. So time required for 10 oscillations is suppose 14 seconds, for this it is 17 seconds, and for it is 20 seconds. So we measure the time required for 1 second, 1 oscillation, time required for 1 oscillation, that is nothing but 14 by 10, then here it is 17 by 15, and here it is 20 by 20. So we'll get the time required for 1 oscillation, find out the average time, and from the average time we are able to find out the frequency of a experimental frequency hertz, and you just check whether this experimental frequency and theoretical frequency both are coming same or not, and generally both are coming same. So this is the way you have to perform the or determine the frequency experimentally and theoretically in case of torsional vibrations.